Hi, it's Bill here, and thoughts on the qualifiers for the PDC Tour for 2021 and how I did in the predictions. I just making the video about the new PDC Tour card holders based on the last qualification in Europe and UK. How did I do? Well, I did a lot better in Europe than I did in UK, to be honest. And if you take a look at the results, I had picked 12 players in the European pool to get their tour cards, and of the 12 that I picked, I got 7. The 7 that I got right were Raymond van Barneveld was the first pick, and while I didn't win a round, he played well. Gert Nenches, Martin Schindler, Boris Koltsov, Adam Gallas, Zoran Lerchbacher, and Niels Zonneveld. The other ones that joined, a couple that won their rounds: Gert de Vos, Florian Hempel, Michael Utenbucher, John Michael, and Robert Maranovic. So pretty well on that. A couple that I was really hoping to see get through were Matt Campbell and Lucas Venning. They didn't do that. Matt Campbell had a chance. He ran into Boris Koltsov, had a couple of chances to win with the doubles. Didn't get through, but overall, hopefully next year, I hope that doesn't dishearten him from trying to qualify next year. Just maybe learn a learning experience, first time trying it. And hopefully we'll see another Canadian on tour with Jeff Smith shortly. On the UK side, I did terrible. As I said, I only got 5 right. The 5 that I got right were Andrew Gilding, Scott Mitchell, Danny Baggish, Joe Merton, and Lewis Williams. Now, of the 5 that I had picked in my top 6, because I'd ranked them in order, I got 4 out of the top 6 that I had picked. The ones that I missed were Jim Williams and Jamie Lewis, who both performed, not well. The other ones that qualified, some that won their stage: Kirk Shepard, who had PDC tour card or has been a PDC tour card holder for a while. Jason Heaver, I'd never even heard of him before this event. Jake Jones, and then Scott Mitchell won his round. And then also on top of that, there was Jack Main, Martin Lukeman, who played well consistently throughout. Eddie Lovely, Alan Sutar, good to see another Scottish person on tour. Gordon Mathers, really shocking. Didn't expect him to be on tour, so that was, I know he had just one good day, but still got enough points to qualify. Peter Hudson, who makes me look slim, so at least I look slim on tour. John Worsley, Brett Clayton, and John Brown. So of these, when you talk about when they're qualifying, these are great for them. You get a 2-year card. If you take a look at what's happened the last couple of years, there's been a couple new tour card holders who have done really well. If you go back to 2 years ago, Glenn Durrant came on the scene, won a couple events, even qualified for the World Match Play in his first year, and really took off. And if you take a look at this year, last year's tour holders, one of the first two tournaments, Jeff Smith went to the final, new tour holder, and Dirk van Duijvenbode already into the top 32 or very close to it within his first year, and it's a 2-year counting record. So those are really good events. If I take a look at the names here, I'm going to be honest with everyone. I don't see a Glenn Durrant, and I don't see a Dirk van Duijvenbode. I see some quality players that over a 2-year span, you'd think that they might catch up to the 64. But is anyone going to do any damage? I was going through this. For me, on level of who do I think is going to do well, I think the name you got to look for in this is Boris Koltsov. Been watching him play. Nice throw, very consistent. I've seen him beat tour players. I've seen him go on European tours. He doesn't do so well there, but he's got a really nice throw. And to me, he's the most consistent of the bunch that I think will do well. You also look at Raymond van Barneveld. I'm torn with Raymond van Barneveld. Great player, obviously. But his last, 3 or 4 seasons in the PDC just left a sour taste in your mouth. He didn't look like he wanted to play. And the player he'd play against would hit, like, be up 2-0, and then he'd miss a double, and he would just sit and pout. He looked like a baby on the back of the stage all the time. He looked like he didn't want to be there. Hopefully that's changed. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, he could be a player that does damage. He just doesn't ring an excitement bell for me. I think you look at Martin Schindler, had some really, really nice averages in the qualifying score. They have 125, which is amazing. He also beat Raymond van Barneveld in a I think it was a best of 16 in the first round, or in the first qualifying event. You know, Martin Schindler can do some work as well. I just don't see the impact of any of these players. If I look at the UK side, I'm struggling. I'm struggling to see who's going to come out and really actually make an impact. I think some of the people that would have made an impact didn't actually qualify. But if you take a look at some of the names, obviously probably the one that creates the most excitement is Danny Baggish, who came from nowhere, from 0 points, to go all the way to the final and get his last leg to just get in the last spot. Obviously, he's the North American, exciting new person there on tour. Obviously, he's beat Adrian Lewis on the World Championship stage. He's done well. You expect him to maybe, do all right. But if you look at some of the other names, I think Andrew Gilding's a fantastic dart player, don't get me wrong. But he's certainly not easy on the eye. I think he's going to do enough to maybe stay on the tour, but I don't see him doing any damage. You got Joe Morton, nice throw, Scott Mitchell. But take a look at some of the other names. I just go, I don't see it. I don't see them doing any damage. And I think when you get in the first Super Series where you're paying 4 straight events, throwing 85 averages, throwing 86 averages, you're going nowhere. You're running into players that are chucking 90s for something to do. So if you take a look at the averages of those qualifying events, they're 6 to 7 points less than a players' championship event. Now I know some people were throwing 35 or 50s and 60s in the first rounds, but it's going to be interesting to see. So again, if I take a look at it, I definitely believe the Europeans had qualifiers or people that get their tour card that I would expect to do better than the ones that from the UK tour, but we will see. That's kind of the excitement. A couple other players that stand out that I'd like to watch. One of them I predicted was Lewis Williams, young kid. Actually, in the event that he ran the furthest, he had match darts against him with Fallon Sherrick. And so if I look at some of the disappointments, obviously disappointment from the European side is Matt Campbell. He did, he played well, but his draws were tough. He was playing some pretty solid players off the beginning. He certainly didn't get any draw. That was nice. He just, for me, it's still a disappointment. And if you look on the UK side, Jim Williams, big disappointment. Aaron Monk didn't do much. I expected a lot more. Jared Cole, Jason Askew, they didn't. Jason Askew played all right, but there wasn't anything there. And then if you take a look at Fallon Sherrick, had match darts, or she beat Scott Mitchell on the first day, had match darts against, the Lewis Williams before he went on his run. Just for whatever reason, doubles. I was kind of looking through the event on Dart Connect. Again, they don't show this, so you're going to go through the Dart Connect. The doubles were not very good. The best that you're seeing is maybe 40. But you're seeing a lot of people mismatch darts, which to me, you're not getting away with that on a pro tour. There's no one on a pro tour is going to be throwing 25 to 30. And if they are, they're going to lose. So again, here's my event. I was over 500, 12 out of 128 players. I picked 12 of them. 7 of them actually got their cards on the other side of the 17. Now I did also pick Nathan Rafferty. Unfortunately for him, he had a death in the family and wasn't able to play. So really, I'll take 16, but still the 16, I only got 5 right, so that's not a good batting average. First, some good news in terms of the dart world. I'm going to do a video tomorrow about the first Super Series, which starts on Thursday, the 25th, and runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Again, I'm not going to be able to give predictions because they do the draw an hour before the event, but I'm going to pick 10 players who I think are going to make the most money out of the first Super Series. So I'm going to pick for all 4 events. I'm going to pick 10 players who I expect to get the most money. we'll see how I do. Again, I know there's some viewing parties. Actually, there's a couple really cool things if you're on YouTube. There's a site called Online Darts, which did a really great job of, had a couple people watching the events, reporting on the events, and then if you had Dart Connect open, you were watching that with them. It was really, really well done. I believe they're also going to be doing a tour, or the same thing for the Super Series, so that would be really interesting to watch. There are a couple others. I really enjoyed some of the Matt Edgar videos, where he was going through the qualifications with the darts rankings and staying up to date. So it's really good stuff. So as that takes off, that's going to be really great. And then also the good news, they've from what it appears in UK, there will be fans allowed back into the building in Britain, open up in June, I believe. So the first 9 events of the Premier League will be in behind closed doors, but it looks like it might open up to fans. So really exciting times. Obviously the UK is much farther ahead than us in Canada, and maybe that's because you got to get vaccines. You got to buy them, or you can buy them, but you got to actually get them delivered. I think at the last state we have 3.8%, but that's a different discussion for a different day. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. Again, what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to pick the 10 dart players that I think will make the most in the first Super Series. And then the next weekend after that is the UK Open, which is one of my favorite events. So there will be some darts videos to come. Hope you enjoyed it, and talk to you soon.